Welcome to the Faith Talks Wood podcast. I'm Will, and I'm running solo this week. And I'm pretty tired. It has been a busy weekend. Today is Memorial Day, and I was off work today, and it's just been a really good, busy weekend. But I hope everybody's doing well, and that you guys are enjoying time with family and gearing up for the summer. It's ahead of us. It's coming. So, anywho, I just want to tell you kind of what this weekend looked like. The last few weeks, honestly, and just kind of give you an idea of the busyness in my life, and then excited for some time away. We're going to take a trip next week to Washington, D.C. My kids love the Smithsonian museums. I do too. They're a lot of fun, and they're free, which is always a plus. So we'll do that, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. But the last couple weeks have been kind of wild. So 2 weeks ago, we had a big DR test. If you don't know what DR means, it's disaster recovery. And so in my line of work, we're highly regulated and audited. And so we have to show proof that we are routinely testing our disaster recovery capabilities. And we had a pretty big one a couple weeks ago. And it was the first time doing this kind of test. It was a interesting test. It went really well. I lost sleep over it, but come the day of, everything went really smoothly, and really happy with my team and those who helped out, and it went really well. So that was a couple weeks ago, and then last week I had auditors in all week, which basically what this last week was called what we call Purple Team. And what Purple Team is they come in and we incrementally give them access to see how vulnerable our network is. They try to hack us. They try to find exploits. They try to crack passwords. They try to gain credentials through phishing attempts. And they're all on site when they do it, and they're here to help us. It's a really good company that we work with. We have a really good relationship with them, and it's one of those, if they find something, or they're able to do something, or get somewhere, do whatever they shouldn't do, they'll come to my office, and they'll say, hey, we found this, and usually myself or one of my guys will remediate what they found within the hour. And that's every time they're here, they're helping make us better. And so as we remediate things, it's kind of like taken off. If we remediate while they're on site, it's taken off the notes, if you will. So it doesn't, when the report comes back, it doesn't look as bad. But one of the things they also do is they also test the mitigation items that they found at the last time they did it. So the last time, they find things, and one time a year they do Purple Team, and the other time a year they do a full audit. And in the audit, they find things, and then in the Purple Team, they test those findings. And so it was really good. We had a really, really good audit. But man, those 2 weeks were just exhausting. Just go. And then, on top of that, family and church stuff and, all of that. It makes for a really busy season. And so next week we're going to DC. My favorite part of DC is the Museum of the Bible. And we are lucky enough that when we go there, the Dead Sea Scrolls exhibit is going to be there. And if you don't know what that is, the Dead Sea Scrolls were basically where we've gotten a lot of our Old Testament validity. Um, they were found, I think, in the 30s or 40s in the Qumran caves, and like the Great Isaiah scroll that they found matches nearly verbatim for what we had already in the Dead Sea Scrolls. The Great Isaiah scroll dates back like a couple thousand years before the earliest thing that we had. And so, anywho's, that exhibit is going to be there. And I'm so excited to see that. And then we'll do the Children's Museum. We'll do the natural history, the air and space. We'll do the monuments. We'll be there for like 4 days. And then we're staying outside of DC, and there's a glass store. As you know, my wife is a stained glass artist, and there's a glass store that is really cool. It is just floor to ceiling with glass, all stained glass and supplies and everything. And so it's kind of her, that'd be like one of us going to like Woodcraft or Rockler or something for my wife. Yeah, so she's looking forward to that. That'll be a big thing for her. And then yeah, just some getaway time, just some time to get away from the house and the property and all the projects and all the busyness, and just spend some time with family. Unplug and go. So yeah, it'll be fun. Really looking forward to it. So, and we're only like 4.5 hours from DC, so it's not that bad of a trip. We've got a little DVD player in the car for the kids, and so, we'll stick that on. We'll leave. I think we're going to leave Sunday after church, and then, we'll stop for gas and a snack somewhere, and then, yeah, we'll get there. So yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be really good. We did this last year. And last year was kind of a trial, like, okay, let's try something not too far away. And we really liked it. The problem was that we didn't give ourselves enough time. Just didn't give ourselves enough time. And so this time we're spending a couple extra days down there, which should be really good. Really looking forward to it. So, but this weekend has been very busy but productive, and yeah, I can't complain. But I'll tell you about it. So Saturday, I got up early Saturday morning, and if you follow me on Instagram, you saw a picture from this. I grew up when I was in 4th or 5th grade. I went to Deep Valley Christian Service Camp. It's in Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. And it changed my life. That's where I come to know and have a saving relationship with Jesus. It has been an important part of my life since then. And I now am honored to serve as one of the board of directors to oversee the direction of the camp. And so the camp was founded in 1948. We've been around for a long time. And, we've had our ups and downs of years and seasons, and we're riding a wave right now. It has been the last 3 years, each year, summer camp season, or in general, we have, fall and winter retreats as well. We've grown 20 to 30%. It has been amazing to see. Young people are hungry for the Word of God, and they're hungry to come and be at a place like Deep Valley where it's rustic. You sleep in cabins, there's bathhouses, nothing fancy about it. But man, when you gather there, The Spirit of God is there, and it is an amazing place. And so we have a whole laundry list of projects for camp. Lots of things and some fundraisings, and just we are supported by the churches and by the camp. So there's no like big fund for the camp, and so we do things a little at a time as we can afford them. And one of the things that we've heard over the years is that our camp, you can pass right by it if you don't know what you're looking for. And we had this small, rustic, barely could see from the road sign that said Deep Valley Christian Service Camp. Well, we put it in our budget to make a new sign. And so what we ended up doing, and it turned out amazing, is we bought a 4x8 sheet of it's called HPE, but it's this like sandwich board. It's this polymer, vinyl, I don't know what you call it, plastic. And the outside is blue and the inside is white. And so what you do is you CNC down so far and it reveals the white. And so you have this blue background with nice bold white text and graphics or whatever. And so we bought this sheet, and I got to know a guy in Erie, the town I work in. He owns Lake Erie Woodworks, and he's turned into a custom cabinet shop, but he still does some really nice like furniture building and stuff. But he has 2 CNCs. One of them is massive. It's like fully automated cabinet making machine. Then he has a Shop Saber 5x10, CNC. And so I took the sheet to him, and he routed it out for us. We built the vector and the custom graphic and stuff for it, and then he went ahead and routed it out for us, and it turned out amazing. So 4 of us met, 5. The one guy's wife came, and we installed the sign. We tore the old one out, and we installed the new one. And the way we did it, so imagine the sign itself is just this piece of, inch thick material. And we took 4x4s and we made like dado grooves in the 4x4s, and we sandwiched the sign in between the 2 legs. And so the sign is sitting inside of the legs. And so the way we did that is with they're treated to 4x4s. We tried to use a plunge router. The problem was we didn't have a fence for it, and it was gumming up because it's treated lumber. It was gumming up like crazy, and you couldn't see where you were routing at. It was really kind of sketchy. And so we ended up just taking plunge cuts with a circular saw, a bunch of plunge cuts, and then just with a chisel breaking it out and doing a little, old school woodworking there right on site, and it ended up working out really well. And then we put the 4x4 in vinyl sleeves, and then everything worked well. We sunk it in the ground in concrete and the whole thing. And so really, really happy with how that all came out. Turned out really, really good. And so after we got to doing that, we reset the mailbox. It was kind of loose, and so we pulled it out and dug out the hole and put concrete down and all that kind of stuff. And then we began to make 20 campfire benches. The campfire benches that we had, it all kind of just fell apart. I mean, they were there when they were old and rickety when I was going to camp there 20 years ago, and so it was much overdue, really. And so we built 20 of these. Now, the way we did it, I'd found plans online a couple of years ago, and I had built one as a prototype last year, I guess it was. I built one as a prototype. And what it is, one 2x12 and a 2x4. The 2x4 will make 2 benches. So we made 20 benches, so 20 2x12 by 8s, and then 10 2x4 And what you do is you cut 2 18-inch sections off of the 2x12, and those become the legs. And then you notch the legs. You put like a V in the bottom of the middle of the legs. And the reason you do this is because you always want more touch points. If you just have 2 touch points, it's going to allow the bench to rock more. And so you put this V in, and it makes it more stable. And then you screw everything together, and there you have it. You got yourself a bench. And the bench was 6 foot long, or roughly 5 foot, I guess, then 5 foot long. And you could comfortably fit 3 people on one. Kids, high schooler, middle schoolers, I could easily fit 3, 4 on there. And so we built 20 of them. Really happy with how it turned out. Now, with that, and the Lord was gracious to us, there was supposed to be rain. And it was wild. You watch the radar, and it was like we had like God was protecting the camp. The rain went around, like on all 4 sides of us, it was raining, and the rain went around us, and it was amazing. That didn't get the rain, and so got all that, and I was there all day. I left at like 4:30. We got there at 8 a.m. So I was beat. I was tired. And then Sunday had church, played drums at church. We now have 2 services, so I play drums at 2 services, and I teach an adult Sunday school class. And so it was busy, but we got home and it was gorgeous out Sunday. Normally we won't do too much on a Sunday. We might putz around the property or do this or that, but like we try to keep it a minimum. Well, my wife, so when we bought this property, and I've said it before, we have 25 acres. 5 of it's open where the house sits, 20 of it in the woods. Well, over whoever the original owners, I mean, they planted an orchard. We've got apples, pears, and we've planted 3 more apple trees and a peach tree, and we planted blueberry bushes, and then we have black raspberries and blackberries. And then we have ducks. We have duck eggs. Well, when it's berry season, which is about here in the next month, we can't keep up. We cannot keep up with the berries. There's so many. Our black raspberries, which is our favorite, patch is probably 12 by 12, big bush of black raspberries. And my wife, and then we have blackberries, and the blackberries are double that. And my wife this spring, as soon as the snow broke, and, started, whatever. She went over there and she cleaned it out. One of the things berries love is they love having full sun and having the ability. So when there's like stuff growing up and weeds growing up and stuff, then it can't get as much sun and they don't do as well. Now, they've always done well and we've cleaned them up a little bit, but she went full bore on cleaning up all these berries. Oh my goodness. We are going to be inundated with berries. We like the black raspberries. We don't like the blackberries, but everybody else likes blackberries. And so after the first year of us discovering these berries, because they're kind of over off the one side, if you don't know, if you don't walk around your property and actually look for stuff, you wouldn't know. But after discovering these, my wife has said we need to do a roadside stand. We need to do a roadside stand, and we need to just try to sell some of this stuff because we've got too many. I'll sell them to people at work. We'll give them away. I mean, we ended up towards the end of the season, if people aren't taking them, throwing berries away. My daughter is a black raspberry monster. We have to cut homegirl off because she will eat berries till she gets sick. And so, but yes, so we got all these berries, and then we got ducks. Now, I get up early and I leave the house by 7:00 to go to work, and I get on this routine. Oh, I don't know, a year or so ago, where I don't really eat like a breakfast. I have a protein bar, and I eat that and drink my coffee on the way to work. As I'm listening to a podcast, and so I don't like fry an egg or anything. Probably better for me, but I have my routine and it works well. And so when we use the eggs when we can, like my wife made French toast the other day, and we used up some eggs for that. But duck eggs are like twice the size of chicken eggs, so you don't need as many. And so I got some people at work that'll take eggs, but I think we're going to put some of the duck eggs out by the road. But anyways, so all this time, she said, we need a roadside stand. We need a roadside stand. Well, I finally built one, and that was Sunday. It was really nice out Sunday after church. We ate lunch, and I had the wood already, pressure treated. I've got the metal, everything we need. All I had to do was figure out how I was going to build it. And so I'm bad at this, but it usually turns out well. With some caveats. I won't usually find plans for stuff. I have a vision in my head, and I run with it. And I do relational dimensioning. So here's how this worked. I've got some roofing metal left over from, somebody gave me a bunch and I used it on the duck coop and stuff. Well, I don't like cutting this stuff. I don't have a good way to cut it. I don't have one of the tools. I've tried angle grinder. I've tried circular saw. I've tried tin snips. The actual roofing metal is no fun to cut. And so I had a piece, and it was a certain size, and I was like, I'm going to build the roadside stand around that piece of metal. And so that's what I did. I'll post a picture on Instagram if you follow me at Flatwood Acres. But I built this roadside stand, and I just knew the size of the roof had to be and built down. And I ended up making it is all out of pressure treated. And so it's small. It's like 30 something inches wide by not even 4 foot deep, but I have it to where it's at an angle. And then there's lips where you can set things of berries and whatnot out. on it. And then we did order a cache box, a locking cache box that I installed today. So I built this roadside stand, and it's just light enough that my wife and I can pick it up and move it. But I made it so it has like pallet fork. I get my forks of the tractor under it and pick it up. But yeah, it turned out really good. Exactly what I had envisioned in my head, and it's gonna do the thing. It's gonna it's going to hold stuff to sell berries and whatnot. And so I did that. And I was sore. I was sore. And so last night, got done with dinner and everything. The kids went down to bed, and I tried to stay up, but I ended up going to bed. I was so tired. And then today is Memorial Day. And my father-in-law, they've remodeled their house, and they're finishing up. They've got like 2 rooms left to do. But he had relocated his internet service into a closet central in the house. And he asked, well, the cable that he had to connect his DVR, which he has in the basement, it wasn't quite. I mean, it was long enough, but it was stretching it. But he had a box of Cat 6, which is Ethernet cable, but he didn't have ends or the tool to put ends on. Well, of course I do, because I've been in IT for a long time, and back in the day, I used to make my own cables. And so we got up this morning, and we went over to my in-laws' house, and my wife and my daughter went with my mother-in-law to a greenhouse place to buy different plants for the garden and flowers and stuff like that. And so I helped him run a new cable, and I put ends on it and everything. And then we were there for a while. We were there. We got there 9, and I think we left at 12:30, 1 o'clock, something like that. So I was there, and then I got home. Well, we had to run some errands after we left there. And I like to, when I can, I don't like to, I guess, but do my own work on my vehicles, especially like our car, and truck's a little bit different. But in the state of Pennsylvania, you have to get a yearly inspection on your vehicles. And it's this whole thing, they check brakes and all this stuff. Well, our car needs rear brakes. I did the front brakes, I don't know, what was that, last year, I think. Well, the rear needed done. And I knew it wasn't going to pass inspection. This is the car that I drive to work. I have a 45-minute commute, so I drive that. And so I bought the brake pads. And we got home, and I I was going to start working on the brakes. And while we're eating lunch, I start looking up YouTube videos on how to change the brakes. Well, it's got an electric e-brake. With an electric e-brake, you're supposed to, you have a computer, and you hook up the computer and you release the e-brake, and then you do your work, and then whatever. I don't have one of those. Now, I do have a OBD2 thing that connects to my phone, and I think it probably could have done it. But I found a sequence where you like hold the brake down and you do the e-brake a bunch of times and then hit a bunch of buttons, and it's a whole thing. So I figured out how to do it. and I changed the brakes on the car. Um, Another reason I like doing that is that Eli, my son, he'll be 6 years old this week. Crazy. He likes to help and watch and see what's going on, and I try to teach him what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, and so yeah, I changed the brakes on the car, and then we did some stuff with the garden. It's kind of funny. I built these raised garden beds, and we followed all the advice, all of the things that you're supposed to do when you're building raised garden beds. So I built these things. I think I posted pictures of them. Same on Instagram. And you fill the bottom with logs, and then you make the material, like you do leaves, the sticks and stuff, and then you do dirt and then topsoil. And so we did all the things. We put them in a good place where it gets good sun. And so we planted these. And so the plan was that one of them is going to be flowers and one of them will be vegetables. And my wife is funny because she is we tried to do a garden last year, I think it was, and it did not turn out well. We have no real good place on our property. Well, we didn't think. And so that's why I built these raised garden beds, and they're doing really well. The flowers are starting to sprout. Onions are sprouted. The beans are starting to sprout. And then today she went and got tomato plants and pepper plants for the garden. And so it's going well. The garden is doing the thing, and the dirt and the topsoil that we put in both have manure in it, and it's working really well. Well, I'd found there's a website called vintageaerial.com, and what it is, you can look up your location and find camera rolls of aerial photos from like airplanes from your area. And you can look at the roll, you open it up, and then it shows you the flight path, and you can, oh, yep, my house is on that flight path, and go look for pictures. Well, I found pictures of our house from 1982, 84, 89, and 93. And you can see the specific spot on our property where they had a garden at one point. And so we decided to try and put a garden in the ground. We have the raised beds, but we wanted to plant sweet corn and sunflowers. This is two things that we wanted to try. And so we don't have a rototiller. I could have borrowed my in-laws. They have a one for the tractor. He would have easily let me borrow it. But instead, my wife took it upon herself to dig up all the sod in this like 10 by 12 area, which we're using the sod in other places. That's working out well. And then we put some more dirt on top of it today. That dirt that she dug up that's under that sod is money. Like, I can tell that this dirt had been used at some point as a garden because it's such good looking dirt. Never thought you'd be saying that. You're like, man, that's some good looking dirt. But anyways, so we got that going and added a couple, 4 tractor bucket loads of this fill dirt that we got that is actually like topsoil with manure and all kinds of stuff in it. And so did that, and it was a bit too soupy still underneath there to plant. And so probably the next day or two, we'll plant corn and mammoth sunflowers, the ones that get really big. And so, yeah, that's what's been going on, the going-ons around here. Now, last weekend also, we have this big rock garden out front of the house. There's like 5 rocks. One of them is a boulder. It's it probably weighs a couple 1,000 pounds, and it sits 3 or 4 foot high, and it's probably 5 foot wide and 3 foot deep. And then there's 4 smaller rocks around the back side of it. And in those pictures that I talked about from the aerial shots, you could see where they had dressed it up over the years. Well, when we bought the house, it was overgrown, wasn't taken care of. So we've always had intentions to do something with this. Well, we did a couple weekends ago, last weekend. We dug up all the sod around it, and then we put border around it, like this vinyl border. And then we laid landscape fabric down, and then we put a bunch of mulch down. And then today my wife planted a bunch of flowers, and it looks awesome. Like it was definitely much needed. And so, we've been doing stuff around the house, just getting the projects done. Got a whole laundry list of stuff to do this year, and little things, nothing too expensive or too big, just little things that need done that we've needed to get done for a while. So that has been the going-ons in the Corson household, in the Corson life, in my life, of the last few weeks. Now, I remind you, about a month ago, I was in a conference in New Orleans, and then the week after that, my assistant manager, who's like my systems engineer, was at another conference. So I was out one week, he was out the next week. And so for the last month, it has been just wild, nonstop going. And it felt good to work with my hands this last weekend a little bit, and this weekend. There's just something satisfying about working with your hands. And got me thinking. I thought, wait a second. Paul says that in 1 Thessalonians 4, verse 11. And so it kind of came to mind. I was trying to think about being a solo week, what I'm going to talk about. Now, I can run my mouth. I can talk for a long time. That's no problem. But, I always like to wrap it into something, obviously, encouraging, biblical. And so, 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, I'm going to start verse 9, read down through verse 12. It says, and this is the ESV, "Now concerning brotherly love, you have no need for anyone to write to you, for you yourselves have been taught by God to love one another. For that indeed is what you are doing to all the brothers throughout Macedonia. But we urge you, brothers, to do this more and more, and to aspire to live quietly, and mind your own affairs, and to work with your hands, as we instructed you, so that you may walk properly before outsiders and be dependent on no one." It just kind of resonated. I've been working with my hands a lot this weekend, building benches, putting a sign in at camp, building a roadside stand, putting brakes on the car, working with the tractor. It's felt really good. Now, there's that adage, and I think Drew Witt, who's on the podcast a long time ago, introduced us to this, and I love it. The adage is, those who work with their mind rest with their hands, and those who work with their hands rest with their mind. Now, as you know, I am the head of IT for a big organization, and I'm in meetings nonstop and have lots of responsibility and lots of things that I have to use my mind for. And so doing this kind of work resonates with me. It's restful to me. It might be exhausting physically, but man, is it nice. It feels so good to work with my hands. And it just, kind of got me thinking about 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, right? Live quietly. Mind your own affairs. Depending on your translation, it might say mind your own business. And to work with your hands. There's something satisfying about working with your hands. This podcast, Faith Talks Wood, was started out of the love of woodworking and working with your hands and building something and doing something, accomplishing something with your hands. There's just something so satisfying about that. And I think, I could be wrong here, but I think it's how we're created. We were created by creative God. And when we get creative and build things, we are in turn reflecting the Creator Himself. And so there's just something pleasing about being able to work with your hands. And it's funny, I'm assuming most of, probably 95% of the people listening to this podcast are pretty handy. Like, I'm sure all you guys are woodworkers, tradesmen. You can work with your hands. You can do things. And it always amazes me. I work with people, work in the corporate world, and I have some friends that they just can't they will pay somebody every time to do anything. They will never work with their hands. They will never do things themselves. And it's fascinating to me. And I've got one friend, one of my best friends, love him to death. There's often times where he'll ask me to come over to help him with something. And it's always, I enjoy doing it. His kid and my kid, actually my wife is going to babysit his son, who's the same age as our son, this summer. And so I love it, but it's one of those things that's like foreign to him and to others, to just figure things out, to do things. And I love it. I love figuring things out. A lot of that is, growing up poor and not being able to pay people to do anything. And so you learn and you figure out how to do stuff yourself. When I started driving, my first car was a 1990 Honda Accord. And you learn real quick to work on it. I had an uncle, and we called him Uncle, but really my dad's cousin. We called him Uncle Howard. And he was a mechanic, and he had a shop. Now, that wasn't his full-time job, but his free time, he would work on cars and stuff. And so it was him who really taught me how to work on my own vehicles. Because in high school, so that car I had died, ended up getting a 99 Infiniti i30. Love that car. That car was phenomenal. If it had Bluetooth, and I think there's a way to figure it out, and I could listen to podcasts, I would drive one today. Like, I just love that car. I drove that car, had 200, almost 300,000 miles on it. And then I sold it to my cousin, and he drove it until it had, I think it had 400,000 when the body went and the engine was still running good. But that car, I'm trying to think back, this is 20 years ago now. I had to change out the air conditioning compressor. I changed out the alternator. I changed the starter on that. I think we didn't do a water pump on it. That was good. I changed all 4 struts around it. Obviously, I did the brakes, changed my own oil. And this is in high school. And so I enjoy this kind of stuff, figuring things out. I mean, when I was, I don't know how old I was, I always wanted to mow the grass. I thought the lawnmower was the coolest thing. And my dad said, when you can figure out how to start it, and you can start it, you can mow. Mind you, this is a push mower, pull start. And this was, back in the 90s, this pull start started at the engine. It wasn't like a pull start up by the handle where you pulled it. No, 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 no. It was down on the engine block, and so you had to know how to start it. And I figured it out. I was probably 6 years old, 6, 7, 8 years old, something like that. I don't remember when I was. And I started mowing lawns. I started making money, and I started working with my hands. And when that mower would die, I'd change the spark plugs on it. The one I had, I really liked it. I changed the points out on this thing. And there was no Google, there was no YouTube. All that to say, I think there's some, and this isn't me tooting my own horn, but I think a lot of you guys can resonate with this. There is something about working with your hands, and Paul is clear here to mind your own affairs, to work with your hands, live peacefully. We have it in us. We have an innate desire, I believe, to work with our hands. And I just wanted to encourage you guys, as you're listening to this, if you're anything like me, like this weekend was fantastic. I don't get that kind of stuff all the time. We're busy. I work a lot. And so when I do get to, man, I love it. I love doing stuff like this. But I just want to encourage you, get out there, make something, do something, work with your hands. It feels good, even if it's something simple, just whatever, just get out there and do it. And there's something fulfilling, and I believe it's the Spirit of God in us. And Paul is alluding to it here in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, that we're to live, love one another, and aspire to live quietly, and mind our own business, mind our own affairs, and work with our hands. There's just something to that. And so, anywho, that's all I got. I could ramble on longer if you'd like, but I'm going to go get a snack and probably go to bed here soon. I got to go back to work tomorrow, and short week because I was off today for Memorial Day. But I just want to say thank you. Should have said this at the beginning, to those who have served. If you have lost a loved one in the military, in the active service, thank them. Thank you. Yeah, it's a lot. But hope you guys are all doing well. I hope your families are blessed, and I hope that you're staying in the Word of God, and that you are growing closer to Him each and every day. Till next week, I'm Will from Flatwood Acres.